Hey, there isn't anyone who's exempt of disappointments. Maybe right now you're in a season of disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. You might even feel like God is the one who has disappointed you. Have you ever been disappointed by God? What if I told you that God uses the material of disappointment to produce glory? In the next few minutes, I want to share with you how God can turn your disappointments into his glory. You don't want to miss this.
I think I came to preach today. That wasn't that funny. Disappointment. But I want to show you something when it comes to disappointment that I didn't notice before, but I read this in the beginning of the text, and this thing is revealing as to why Jesus was able to show up 4 days later. I want to read it to you real quick. And by the way, I'm going to give you 3 points today, and I want you to hear them as if Jesus is talking to you directly. I want to give you these points so that you can hear them as if Jesus is speaking to you directly, because I genuinely believe that Jesus wants to encounter you today. And look what it says. It says, therefore, the sisters sent him saying, this is Martha and Mary, they sent this over to Jesus. And it says, Lord, behold. That word behold in the original language, it suggests pay attention. I need you to focus right now. Like many wives tell their husbands when they're talking to them. Can you get over here? Behold. Next time, look at your husband, tell him, behold. I'm saving some marriages here today. I'm just letting you know. It says, behold, he whom you love is sick. And when Jesus heard that, watch this, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God. It says the Son of God, so that the Son of God would be glorified through it. Like Jesus is making this astonishing claim, like if he's God or something. You get that on the way home? Okay. Jesus is making this astonishing claim. He says, hey, this sickness, the situation you're in right now, the dilemma that you're faced with right now, like, I need you to know something about that situation. I need you to know something about the miry that you're in right now. I need you to know something about this sickness. I know something you don't know. It's not gonna lead you where you think it's gonna lead you. He says, I need you to know something about this sickness that you're talking to me about. I need you to know something about this dilemma. You could change the variable. I need to know something about this problem that you're dealing with. I need you to know something. It's not going to lead you to death. It's not going to lead you to destruction. I need you to know something about this. It's not going to lead you down that road, but here's what it's going to do. It's going to produce my glory in you. Ooh! I'm like, I know that sounds great, but I'm just also like, wait, I know what the Bible says, and I'm like, ¿sabes qué? Jesus, I don't know if you know what's about to happen, but this sickness leads to death. Like that, like you said, it's not gonna lead to death, but it actually led to death. It leads to the place that you said it wasn't going to lead at. You said it wasn't going to lead to death, but do you know what's going to happen right now? Like, he's going to die, and not only is he going to die, but also you're not going to show up to rescue him the first day or the second day or the third day. Like, this doesn't lead to death. This leads to death. For everybody that comes from Brooklyn, then they say, it's cold. Come on, somebody. But you know what I found out in his statement, what he was really trying to say? I want you to hear it this way, as if Jesus is speaking to you today. He says, if you encounter me, I can produce glory out of your disappointment. I can produce glory See, when you encounter Jesus, he will produce glory out of your disappointment. And we can change the word because he specializes in producing glory out of your failures. He specializes in producing glory out of your mistakes. He specializes in producing glory out of your situation. He can produce glory out of that failed relationship. He can produce glory out of that mistake. He can produce glory out of being rejected from that promotion. He can produce glory out of being last in line. He can produce glory out of your brokenness. He can produce glory. Listen, you've been in your situation and you're saying, God, what is it that I can do with this? Don't you know that I'm sick? Don't you know I have an addiction? Don't you know I'm worried? Don't you know I'm struggling? He says, no, my daughter, I need you to understand that this sickness, this issue, this dilemma is not going to lead. That's not the final destination. The final destination is glory coming out of.
Hey, Pastor O here, and I want to hit the pause button for a moment just to let you know about how you can connect as well as partner up to support our ministry. It's only going to take 30 seconds of your time, and then you can go back to watching the rest of this video. Here's the first one. If you need prayer, give us an opportunity to pray for you by visiting prayforme.kuhau.com and submit your prayer request. Number 2, become a Patreon partner. You can become a Patreon partner for as low as $1. You can find all the details in the description, and you can find our merchandise link there as well. And here's the last one. If you are looking for a church community, visit us at kuhau.com/new. Let us know a little bit about yourself so that we can plug you into our church family. Okay, now let's get back to the video.
Even when the situation gets as worse as it can get, can I tell you as a child of God, if your story, listen to me clearly, look at me. If your story does not end with his glory, then all it means is that God is not finished with you yet. Even when the worst thing you think can happen, can I tell you, as a child of God, your story, if it doesn't end with glory, then God's not finished with you yet. Just ask the blind man who expected to be blind all his life, and Jesus showed up and he turned things around for his glory. Just ask the lame man that was at the pool of Bethesda, who thought that he was there for 38 years and he would be there for the rest of his life, but Jesus showed up and turned things around and did it for his glory. Just ask the woman that was caught in the act of adultery. Oh, curtains are closed. My life is done. My life is ruined. I committed adultery. I got caught. And guess what? Jesus shows up, turns her life around, and he did it for his glory. Someone shout glory in this house. Oh, I was trying to be quiet today, but it's not. It's Easter Sunday, y'all. I'm telling you, some of our worst case scenarios was only a setup for God to produce the most glory out of it. So even when the odds look like they're stacked up against God, even when the situation seems impossible, can I just remind you today that Jesus could turn it around for his glory. He takes the material called your disappointment and he says, I'm making something good out of it. I'm making something glorious out of it. And if you believe that in this house, give God a praise in this room.
Hey, thank you for watching this video, and if you have found any value from it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified anytime we release anything new. And if you're interested in more videos like this one, I want to recommend this one to you. Make sure you like it, comment, share it with the world. And last but not least, I want to thank all our Patreon partners. It's because of you we can keep all our content free and share God's love with the world. Remember J1335, love is our logo.